So as I told you that agreement is necessary in between the different sites because they are working all together. So every sites must be having information about the rest of the sites which are working all together. For example, if you talk about the distributed database system is concerned, if a commit has been done to there is a distributed commit, then that site must know about the outcome of the local commit at each site. So this is why it is very important for the to discuss about the agreement protocol. And it is also necessary that since there are different processes, there are different sites. So whether all the sites are working all together, all the processes are on or not, every one is non-faulty or not. And by exchanging the values all together, they will be able to know that whether the processes which are involved in the distributed system are failure or working all together. So it is also going to give the information because whenever a processor is sending any information to the rest of the processor, there will be a relay message from the rest of the processor to that process so that it will be able to know what is going on, whether they are live or not. So basically what we are discussing about the agreement protocol, it is based on the failure of the processes because there are two kinds of failure which can happen. Whether the process is going to be failed or the communication channel is going to be failed because everybody is depending upon the relaying of the message. So basically this agreement protocol which we are discussing, it is related with the failure of the processes. But before going to that, it is very important to know because based on a certain model, the agreement protocol, agreement problem can be solved. And in this model, there are n processes and there are m which are faulty. And of course, the value of n should be greater than m. It is also considered that all the processes are communicating directly via message, so they are fully connected. And receiver process knows the identity of the sender process, and as well as it is always considered that the communication system is reliable. In the synchronous computation process, everything is in a very step manner. Because whenever it is being received, computation is being done, and then it is being relayed, it is done in the synchronous manner. But this agreement problem is basically related with the asynchronous computations, where the computation does not follow any kinds of the step. So that is why we are concerned more about the asynchronous computation. We have three kinds of failure which can happen: crash fault, omission fault, and the malicious fault. Out of this malicious fault in which the processor is going to behave randomly by sending arbitrary values, because once it is being receiving any value from the rest of the processes, it must relay the same value. But it may be possible that the process is going to be with the malicious fault and it will be behaving randomly and sending the fictitious message just to confuse the other processes. So this kind of fault, which is under the discussion of the agreement protocol, and that type of problem is called, that type of fault is called Byzantine fault. And it is also related with the non-authenticated message. Now, before we going to describe about the algorithm, let us discuss about what are the different agreement problems. And we have classified it into three problems. First is Byzantine problem. In this particular problem, there is a certain source process, and that processor is sending the initialized value to the rest of the processes, and all non-faulty processor will be going to agree on a single value. In consensus problem, it was also discussed that every process is going to initiate certain values to all non-faulty processor, and ultimately they have to become the common consensus that there will be one value on which they are going to be agreed. In interactive consistency problem, every processor is sending its own value, initiating its own value, and all the non-faulty processes are receiving those values from the rest of the processes, and they will be agreeing on a certain set of the common value. Now, as far as the Byzantine agreement problem is concerned, that as told you that we have an arbitrarily chosen processor which is called the source process, and which is going to broadcast its initial value to all the processes. And it may be possible that whenever it is going to broadcast its value to the rest of the processes, it may be possible that the process which is being receiving those values may be faulty. So what kind of agreement? So basically this problem is having two objectives. Based on that objectives, we have to design the agreement protocol. So the first objective is the agreement, and that agreement is all non-faulty processes agree on the same value. जितने भी नॉन फॉल्टी प्रोसेसर्स हैं वो सेम वैल्यू पे एग्री करेंगे. एंड सेकंड ऑब्जेक्टिव इज द वैलिडिटी. इफ द सोर्स प्रोसेसर इज नॉन फॉल्टी, then the common agreed upon value by all non-faulty processor should be the initial value of the source. This is the validity. So based on this objective, the first objective is that all non-faulty processor agree on the same value. And second one is, if the source processor is non-faulty, then all the non-faulty processors which are going to receive the value, they should be able to have an agreement on the initial value which is set by the source. But if the source processor is going to be faulty, then all rest of the non-faulty processor will have to come on a common consensus, on a common value. And it is also need to mention here, it is also need to note here that if there is a faulty processor, whether it is going to agree on the source value or not, it is irrelevant. So we have not to consider about the faulty processor. We have to discuss about we have to take care of the non-faulty processors. If the source processor is non-faulty and it is sending any value to any rest of the processes, out of that, all non-faulty processors should come into the common consensus that whatever value has been sent by the non-faulty source processor. But if source processor is faulty, then rest of the non-faulty processor will be agreed on a common value. And whether if there is a faulty processor, whether it is going to be on a common value or not, it is immaterial. It is irrelevant. Now, in case of consensus problem, again we have two objectives. In this case, every processor is going to broadcast its initial value, and the initial value of the processors, it may be different. So the first objective is that all non-faulty processors agree on the same single value. Validity is that if initial value of every non-faulty processor is V, if the initial value of every non-faulty processor is V, then if the initial value of every non-faulty processor is V, then the agreed common value by all non-faulty processors must be V. So these are the two objectives of the consensus problem. So the note is that if the initial value of non-faulty processors are different, then in that case they have to make an agreement so that all non-faulty processor will come into an agreement on a single common value. But in case of interactive consistency problem, all the processor is going to broadcast its initial value. The initial value of the processor may be different. So all non-faulty processors agree on this vector value, that is V1, V2, V3, Vn, where V1 is the initial value sent by the process P1, V2 is the value which has been sent by the process P2, and so on. And its validity, the second objective is validity, that if the ith processor is non-faulty and its initial value is Vi, then the ith value in this particular vector, the ith value to be agreed on by the all non-faulty processor must be Vi. If Vi is the value given by the ith processor, then whatever vector on which they are coming on in an agreement, that ith value of that vector must be V. So the note is that if the jth processor is faulty, suppose, then all non-faulty processors can agree on any common value for Vj. It is not necessary that whatever is the value of jth processor is. No, it's not. If jth, they found while doing any agreement, they found that jth processor is faulty. So they can agree on any common value related with the jth processor, and that is the bj. So it is irrelevant that what the jth processor is going to be agreeing on, value or not. Now, the solution of the Byzantine agreement problem. So, as far as the, we have already discussed that what kind of problem Byzantine agreement is having. The first objective is the agreement that all non-faulty processors will agree on the same value. And the second one was the validity related with the Byzantine agreement problem, that if the source processor is non-faulty, then the common agreed upon value by all non-faulty processor will be the initial value of the source. So with this, with these two fundamental things, we are going to give you the idea that how we are able to solve the Byzantine agreement problem. Now, the Byzantine agreement problem is also referred to as the Byzantine general problem, because this kind of problem is going to be resemble with a situation where a team of generals in a particular army is trying to reach an agreement on an attack plan. Suppose there are three armies, two armies are placed on the hill and one army is on the valley, and before they are going to attack on somebody, they have to make a mutual agreement that when they will be going to make an attack. So they have to make a conversation in between each other, so that whenever a value has been sent by a particular node to another node, it must relay that same value to the, so that it means if one has been sent by a process to another process and that process is not faulty, then it will relay the same one value to the source, so that it will be able to know that it has received the message and it is agreed on the value 1. Similarly, it used to happen for every processes. Now, now as far as the faulty processor values and the agreement are concerned, the faulty processor, whatever they are going to agreement, whether it is 0 or 1, it is immaterial, because faulty processors value are not to be considered. If the faulty processors are in majority, then non-faulty processor cannot reach an agreement. So that is why the Lamport has given first about the solution of Byzantine problem, and it says that in a fully connected network, if the number of processors are available, and if out of the number of processors, if the number of faulty processors are more than up to a certain limit, then it is very difficult to reach a consensus on a common value. And that is why they have given a formula in which they says that if M is the number of faulty processor, and if this M exceeds n minus 1 by 3, where n is the total number of the processors. So if M, faulty processor, number of faulty processor exceeds the n minus 1 by 3, suppose n is equal to 3, suppose there are 3 processors. So 3 minus 1, that will be equal to 2 by 3. So if number of processors M is greater than 2 by 3 of the total processor, then it is very difficult to reach the consensus. So that is why this solution of Byzantine problem, agreement problem, can be achieved if the faulty processors are less than n minus 1 by 3. So let us go for impossible results, because that means that if there are 3 processors, then this example shows that if there are 3 processors in a particular distributed system, then it is very difficult to go to reach on a common consensus, because the total number of the processors are less. And based on that, Lamport has given the idea that the total number of the processes must be more than 3m plus 1, where m is the number of faulty processes. Total number of the processes must be greater than 3m plus 1, where m is the number of faulty processes. So if we take an example of 3 processes in which P0 is the source one, P1 and P2 are the rest of the processes, and P0 is not faulty, and suppose P2 is faulty. So if P0 is not faulty, so by the Byzantine problem objective, this will be sending its value to P1 and P2, and that value is 1. Now, when this process is going to receive 1, it will be sending whatever it has received, it will be sending this 1 value to the P2. P2 is also has received 1, but this process is faulty process. This is faulty, and that is why it has been shown by elliptical shape instead of non-faulty. P0 and P1 is non-faulty and P2 is faulty. So just because of the malicious intention, since this process is faulty, it will not send 1, it will send a spurious message to the P1 and it will send us 0 to P. So if this is the situation, now P1 has received 1, so whatever is the convention which has given in the form of an objective of the Byzantine problem, which says that the process must agree, this P1 must agree whatever it has received as 1. So it will accept 1. And P2 has received 1 and from P0, and P2 is also receiving 1 from P1. So whatever, it is immaterial that whatever the common consensus of P2 is, because it is not a faulty, it is a faulty process. So in this particular situation, if P0 is not faulty, P1 is going to acknowledge the value 1 by receiving 1 from the P1. So P0 and P1 is coming into the agreement that the value are 1. But P2, since being a faulty process, it will not take the part. Now, if we take the case 2, in which P0 is faulty, so if P0 itself is faulty, which is the source process, now it is the duty of P1 and P2 to come into a common consensus. Now, since it is a faulty process, it will be sending arbitrary or the spurious message to the rest of the processes. So P0 has sent 1 to P1 and P0 has sent 0 to P2. Now, since P1 is a non-faulty process, so it will accept the 1 from which has been received by P0 and it will send this 1 to P2. Now P2 has received 0 from P0 and so P2 will send 0 to the P1 being a non-faulty process. Now at this particular juncture, P1 is receiving 1 from P0 and from P2 it is receiving 0. Now, as far as the P2 is concerned, it is receiving 1 from P1 and it is receiving 0 from P0. So in that particular case, since P1 and P2 has to come into a common consensus, but P1 has received 1 and 0 and P2 has received 1 and 0, so both the processes are not able to meet the requirement, and so Byzantine agreement is not going to be satisfied. And that is why it has been told by the Lamport that instead of, in case of 3 processes, it is very difficult to find out the Byzantine problem result. So what is the solution of Byzantine agreement problem? And that is the problem which is given, the solution is given by Lamport's Shastov-Pease algorithm. It's called Lamport-Shastov-Pease algorithm, which is referred to as the oral message algorithm. Now, oral message algorithm is represented in the form of OMM, where M is greater than 0. And this oral message algorithm is going to solve the Byzantine agreement problem for the processes more than 3M plus 1, where M are the faulty processes. Now, here we can consider that N is the total number of the processes and that N is always greater than or equal to 3M plus 1. So how this algorithm works? The algorithm works as follows, that is algorithm OM0, considering M number of processes are 0, faulty processes. So what will happen? The source processor sends its value to every processor. Each processor use the value it receives from the source. So since there is no faulty processor, so all the processors which are available, they will come onto the common agreement and they will accept whatever the value is initialized and sent by the source processor. But if the algorithm will change if number of m is greater than 0. So what will happen? The initiator or the source will send its value to everyone. To everyone means to the n-1 processors, because there are n number of processors, so it will send its message to the n-1 processors. Now try to understand the second point, the second step. For each value I, let Vi be the value processor I receives from the source. सपोज करिए कि Vi वो वैल्यू है जो प्रोसेसर I ने रिसीव किया है, कहां से? सोर्स से. अगर सोर्स से उसने कोई भी वैल्यू रिसीव नहीं किया है तो इसका मतलब है डिफॉल्ट वैल्यू 0. नाउ प्रोसेसर I acts as the new source. Now processor I will starts its working as a new source and initiates an algorithm OMM-1 because it has found that the source processor is not a faulty processor. So it will initiate an algorithm OMM-1 and it will send the value Vi which it has received from the source processor to n-2 other processor. It will not send to the source processor, but it will send to the rest of the processor. That is why it is n-2 processors. Now for each I and each j, let Vj be the value that processor I has received from the processor j in step 2. So using the algorithm OMM-1, processor I uses the value V1, V2 and Vn-1. So now processor I, which is going to uses the value, which value? It is the majority value. It is the majority value. It is the majority value. So whatever is the value which is majority value out of V1, V2, Vn-1. And when the algorithm is going to stop, each processor has input from all the others and chooses the majority value as its value. Now let us go with an example. And in this example, we have 4 processors, P0, P1, P2, and P3. And for simplicity, we have assumed that their values can be only 0 and 1. Now, to initiate the agreement, let us discuss first the first example. To initiate the agreement, P0 executes OM1 algorithm, where it sends a value 1 to rest of the process, n-1 processors. Now at step 2 of the algorithm OM1, after receiving the value 1 from the source processors, P1, P2 and P3 will be executing OM0 algorithm. And these executions are represented in this particular figure. Now, process P1 and P3 are non-faulty and process P2 is faulty. So process P1 and P3, as it has received 1, so process P1 will send this 1 which it has received from P0 to P2 as well as to P3. So P1 has sent 1 to P2 and P1 has sent 1 to P3. Similarly, P3 has received 1 from P0 and being non-faulty processor, it will send 1 to the P2 and it will send 1 to the P1. Now P2 being a faulty processor, of course, it has received 1 from the P0, but just because it is a faulty processor, it is sending spurious or different messages to the rest of the processors. So P2 has sent 1 to P1 and P2 has sent 0 to P3. If this processor is non-faulty processor, then it should send 1. But being a faulty processor, it has sent 0 to the process P3. So what we'll do in the third step, P1 has received 1 from P0, it will maintain its vector, 1 from P0, 1 from P2, and 1 from P3. So it will maintain its vector as B1, B1, 1, 1. P2 has received 1 from P0, 1 from P1, and 1 from P3. So it will maintain 1, 1, 1. And P3 has received 1 from P0, 2, 1, 0 from P2, and 1 from P3. So it will maintain its vector as 1, 1, 0. So out of this, we have to consider the majority value, and the majority value of 1, 1, 1 is 1. Majority value at P2 is 1, and majority value of P3 is 1. So they have come into the common agreement that every processor has the common value, that is 1. So both the condition of the Byzantine agreement is going to be satisfied in this particular example. Let us go for another example. In this example, the source processor is faulty. So it is sending 1 to P1, P0 is sending 1 to P3, but being faulty, it is sending P to 0. So all the rest of the processor are now having the duty to come into a common consensus. So to make a common consensus, whatever P1 has received as 1, it will send to 1 to P2 and 1 to P3. P3 has received 1, so it will send 1 to P2 and 1 to P1. Since P2 has received 0, it will send 0 to P1 and 0 to P3. Being a non-faulty processor, whatever value it has received, it will relay to the rest of the processors. So it will maintain a vector 1, 0, 1. It will maintain a vector 1, 0, 1. It will maintain a vector 1, 0, 1. And out of that, we have to consider the majority value. So the majority value at P1 is 1. Majority value of P2 is 1. Majority value of P3 is 1. So these three processors, which are non-faulty processors, have come on the agreement of the common value. And in this case also, all the required conditions of the Byzantine agreement are going to be satisfied. So in this way, by applying the Lamport-Shastov peace algorithm, in which two conditions of the Byzantine agreement problem has to be resolved. The first is all non-faulty processors agree on the same value, and the second one is the validity, that if the source processor is non-faulty, if the source processor is non-faulty, then the common agreed value upon by all the non-faulty processor should be the initial value of the source. But if the source processor is faulty, then in that case, all the rest of the non-faulty processor have to agree on one common value, and that is happening in this. So by applying this algorithm, we are able to solve the Byzantine problem as it is.